Good morning and welcome back to the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting. I am, the Deputy Chair in place of Councillor Berg here today. I am joined with fellow committee members Councillor Bressie and Mayor Jackie Clayton. And I will look for a motion to, I'll call this meeting in order. And now I'll look for a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Bressie? So moved. And that motion carries. So let's get this show on the road. Moving right down the agenda, we have no delegations today, but we do have our service area updates. And for that, I'll turn it over to Chief Whiteway.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. So the financial management team has begun budget work and are actively working with departments on budget activities to prepare the operating, staffing, and capital budgets for the upcoming cycle. The Q1 financial report will be presented here today, and as well, staff are now working on the April month-end activities in preparation for month-end close. This is followed by monthly variance reporting with departments over the next week or two. Taxation and Assessment have mailed all tax notices. They were put in the mail yesterday, so property owners should receive them soon. If you do not receive your property tax invoice by May 22nd, please reach out to our tax department to obtain a copy. Property owners should be aware of the potential upcoming postal strike. We would advise of not mailing any property tax payments until this is resolved. If owners are unsure how to make payment with a potential upcoming strike, please reach out to our tax department and they will be able to provide assistance. Payment options are also available on the backside of each tax notice sent out. Procurement and Supply Chain Management has a number of bids on the market. Currently, the site preparation for the cricket field in Signature Falls, the storm line cleaning and inspections, road rehabilitation phase 5, bridge repair and maintenance, pest control services, and roadway dust control. Finally, our GIS and ITS teams have been busy supporting the city business as well as over the last 2 weeks, have worked with CSD to develop a report and data management solution. This helps CSD with their social prescribing network initiative. Next, GIS had also helped CSD in partnering with the Council on Aging through a grant to support the Seniors Property Care Request Service. So the GIS team has developed a map-based web application to support this program. And that does conclude my update for this morning.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Chief Whiteway. I'll look to my committee members and members online. Seeing no questions, I guess we'll move right on. Into item 4.2, the 2025 Policing Services Additional Capital Funds Request. I see we have a couple gentlemen here, and I'll just turn it over to Chief Whiteway to introduce.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. So as a reminder, Council did approve a portion of the 2024 surplus to be allocated to the Grande Prairie Police Service for some capital requirements. So today we have Chair Dan Wong and Chief Lacusta to formally request this capital plan change.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Chief Whiteway, and welcome, gentlemen. You know the drill. I think we've been here before. Please introduce yourself, and we look forward to the report.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. Mayor, Council, and Committee. Today, we're here to present the capital request for 2025. My name is Dan Wong. I'm the Chair of the Grande Prairie Police Commission. I'm joined by Dwayne Lacusta, the Chief of Police for the Grande Prairie Police Service.
Welcome.
After submission of the 2025 budget, this year it was determined that there were a couple of emergent issues that came to light that require additional funding in order to meet that transition timeline of 2026 for police of jurisdiction. So the budget was largely informed by the MNP Policing Transition Report, which took into account a lot of assumptions in terms of timing and costs. And today's request of $1.37 million in capital funding includes a lot of upgrades that are needed that weren't accounted for in that report, but are offset by operational surpluses in 2024 due to timing of hiring and things like that. So when a project is executed of this magnitude, we're bound to have variations in costs. And fortunately for us, the 2024 surplus more than covers off this capital request. So today's request is basically for three components, $925,000 for the RMS system. The MNP report assumed that the Grande Prairie Police Service could use the RCMP Pro system, which isn't a suitable system for them, especially for the enhanced level of service that they want to provide. Also, the Grande Prairie Enforcement Services is currently using an RMS system that is slowly becoming out of date and is going to require an upgrade in the future. So the 925K covers a new system that can be used by both services in that tiered policing system. Chief Lacusta and his team examined all the options for us and came up with the best option, which was to house the system at Edmonton Police Services, and they would just tie into that system, so they wouldn't have to build it from the ground up. The second request was for $400,000 to help them with their secured network. Again, the MNP report recommended a hybrid network option where GPPS would use city IT services for their business applications. But in order to meet the provincial requirements of becoming police of jurisdiction, it's better to keep these systems completely separate for security reasons. So that's what the $400,000 would be funding. And finally, the final request of $45,000 is to help in the establishment of a GPPS tactical team. It's to fund some equipment that they need. That will reduce the reliance on RCMP post POJ. We're looking at a lot of enhanced systems to make just policing way more efficient in Grande Prairie and to improve public safety, so and reduce reliance on any external law enforcement agencies. And that really summarizes all our requests. We're happy to answer any questions. Chief Lacusta has the answers to a lot of the technical questions if you have any. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that, Chair Wong. I'll look to our committee for any questions or council arising from the report. Seeing none, I do actually just have a couple questions. So the first one, with the network infrastructure, we are adding $400,000 to the total cost. What was the total cost of the network infrastructure?
The network infrastructure was actually an oversight. There was minimal funding to it. I don't have it in front of me right now, but it was well under $100,000. There was assumptions made that we would tie into the city network, which sound like a good option, but the reality is we are required through CPIC legislation to have a secure network on our own that's separate from any other network that might infiltrate our side. That has to be kept secure.
Awesome. So was the total cost $400,000 or?
Yes, the total cost, if we were to purchase the actual hardware, recognizing that we're going to have 4 LAN networks, local area networks, the 99, the Cedar Point, South Fire Hall, and eventually GPPS headquarters. We are still, though, however, since this report was provided, is looking at other options such as secure cloud networks, as well as leasing equipment from a provider there. So this $400,000 presented to you today, Council, is what it would cost in the worst case scenario for the actual hardware. But we are exploring other options that we've since recognized could potentially fill this gap for lesser cost.
Awesome. For me personally, and I think I speak for myself here, I think we knew that the costs, a lot of them were assumed from the report, and I trust your professional judgment in providing us the services and the equipment that we need to provide the best policing services in the city of Grande Prairie. So I have no qualms with that. Just curious about what the cost was. My second question is actually about cost too, and it's under the tactical equipment. So it does say at the end that we'll be looking for another capital contribution to be brought forward in 2026 in regards to it's the last sentence here, additional capital funds requested. So this year, $45,000, 2026. What can the future council expect to see for the budget request?
2026, I'm just looking for, so we're just going through the, completing the budget right now, preparing the budget. Some other assumptions that were made or some gaps are identified already are specifically to the tactical team, development of our canine services. These are essential components of any police service to be self-reliant. So there was no funding simply put for the development of a tactical team or a canine program. These come with significant costs, but we're currently assessing the needs over the course of a couple of years, operationalize them, recognizing that we will become the police of jurisdiction in 2026, and we want to be able to provide that level of service without relying upon provincial police service agreement with the RCMP. So we're taking those steps to build up those specialized areas so we can provide that level of service to the residents of Grande Prairie.
Appreciate that. And that would, all the costs coming forward, does the capital cost include training, or is that an operational cost?
The training, as we develop our service, is covered under transition.
Okay, awesome.
From the tax base.
Oh, thank you very much, Chief Lacusta. I have Councillor Bressie in the queue.
Great. Thank you, Chair Thiessen. Chief, I wonder if you could speak a little bit about, I know that there's also some service enhancements to this record management systems over pros in terms of efficiency that could be done and what your people can actually do with it. I wonder if you could just speak a little to the benefits of this over the pro system for council's benefit.
Right. A great question. Thank you for that, Councillor. The current pro system was that the RCMP are using was developed in 2004 with not a lot of enhancements. The one that we're able to the EPS is going to host was upgraded 2 years ago to the newest system. But what that provides us long term, we have the upfront costs there. All the integration is made. So when we talk about the network infrastructure, we look at the records management system itself, quality assurance, data entry management, configuration of the workflows, the training that's provided, disaster recovery, support, maintenance, technical guidance, desktop client. It provides a browser option for use on our smart devices in remote locations. It provides the interface to our CAD system, CPIC, Join, which is connected to our court system. Any system updates, management of the RMS service is provided by the contract that we have with EPS, ensuring 99.9% uptime target, which means we're essentially live 24/7, 365, and cybersecurity and 24/7 support there. But what we're also looking at here is this is the upfront cost to develop the program. As we move forward with our contract, which is currently in negotiations and with our city solicitor, they're going to provide services such as data entry, quality assurance, but also that IT support. So in the future, we're actually going to eliminate the need for certain positions within the Grande Prairie Police Service, which would include data entry, quality assurance, as well as the equivalent of at least one full-time IT component to provide that level of support on the IT side. Not to mention the cybersecurity that we're all well aware of is becoming more complex and more costly. So upfront costs, but there's a lot of benefits on the back end when we have the Edmonton Police Service providing that support.
Thank you very much for that, Chief Lacusta. Thanks for the question, Councillor Bressie. I'll turn to the rest of the table. I see no further questions, so I will entertain a motion. Councillor Bressie.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to move that committee recommend council amend the 2025 capital budget by $1,370,000 as follows: $925,000 records management system, $45,000 tactical equipment, $400,000 network infrastructure, all funded via the future expenditure reserve from the 2024 year-end surplus. And just speak to this, we do have, when we're budgeting as municipalities, the goal is to have long-term stability in rates, and we did find some savings last year, which allows us to undertake expenditures this year. And as the chief mentioned, there are expenditures here that are not just necessary, but also will enhance service and also enhance long-term efficiency of the service as well. I also know even with these, we still are on track to be saving significant money with a higher level of service by moving to the GPPS model of service. So I do encourage committee to support these recommendations, get them to council so that we can continue to support this great work.
Thank you for that motion and for your thoughts there, Councillor Bressie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call to question.
Bressie in favor.
That motion carries, and we'll see it again at council. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming in. We sure do appreciate your expertise and thoughtfulness in helping Grande Prairie build the best, most efficient, and effective modern policing system in the province. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along, hand it back over to Chief Wayway for our report, 4.3, our quarterly 2025 financial report.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. So respectfully, I'll assume that each of you have reviewed the Q1 financial report included in today's agenda package, and I'll just provide a bit of an overview. So overall, the city does continue to demonstrate strong financial stewardship, remaining in a net financial asset position of 91 million. This means that we have sufficient resources to meet our obligations and support future operations. Financial assets grew slightly to 299 million, while financial liabilities decreased for the same period to 208 million. This is mostly due to the reduction in deferred revenues with the completion of projects and consistent repayment on our long-term debt. The city's accumulated surplus stands at 815 million, and this reflects both financial and physical investment into the community. On the operations, revenues for the quarter totaled 12.6 million. This is slightly lower than the same period last year, and expenses are at 52.6 million for the first quarter. This has been driven by cost of living adjustments, onboarding of staff, and inflationary pressures. The results in a typical first quarter accounting shortfall of 40 million, which does get reversed once property taxes are levied and revenues recognized in the second quarter for the city. Looking ahead, we are forecasting a year-end operating surplus of 822,000. This is approximately 0.38% of the city's total $215 million operating budget. This outlook is supported by higher than anticipated grant funding, increased development activity, and some staffing savings in areas such as policing. From a capital investment perspective, the city has 99.6 million in active capital projects, with a significant portion funded through grants and long-term debt. We also maintain healthy reserves totaling 107 million, and our long-term debt remains well within provincial guidelines with capacity to support future projects. To finalize, we are managing current obligations effectively, supporting strategic priorities, maintaining flexibility to respond to future needs. We are anticipating a modest year-end surplus of 822,000, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you for that overview, Chief Wayway. And I'll look to committee and council for any questions. Seeing none, I don't have any questions either. And I'll look for a motion from committee. Councillor Bressie.
Great. Thank you, Chair Thiessen. I am happy to move that committee recommend council receive the unaudited financial statements and supporting information for the period ending March 31st, 2025 as information.
The motion is in order. Any discussion or debate on Councillor Bressie's motion as presented in the report? Seeing none, we'll call the question.
Bressie in favor.
And that motion carries 3-0. Kind of like the Oilers game last night. Hey, anyways, moving right along into our outstanding items list, and I'll turn it back to Chief Wayway.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. One item remains, and that is on track, should be presented tomorrow, Council Committee of the Whole.
Awesome, thank you for that. I'll take a motion from Mayor Clayton, get her on the board here today.
So moved.
Thank you, Mayor Clayton. Call the question. I know, but I didn't want to. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been our committee meetings today. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again at Council on Monday.